Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss the CSC Prelims 2024 paper discussion. And now in this session, I am going to discuss the history, including the art and culture. But before that, I just want to add few things like paper was comparatively more moderate than 2022 or 2023. Paper was comparatively more factual than the conceptual. And we can understand right now that elimination method also works very well in this paper. If somebody is expert in the elimination method, then certainly he have a more probability of getting more marks. But again, it depends on the various pros and the cons. Fine. Anyway, in this session, I am going to discuss the question from the history and culture. Let's discuss the brief about the history question. In all, we have total 12 questions from the history, and out of 12 questions, we have 5 from ancient India. We have 1 question from the medieval India. Then we have 4 questions from modern India, 1 including from the post-independence, so 3 from modern and 1 from the post-independence, and we have 2 questions from the art and culture. So again, as you can see here, we have the largest number of questions from the ancient followed by the modern. As far as the difficulty level is concerned, we can say out of 12 questions, 6 were comparatively easier. It need to be corrected by all. And then 4 questions, we can say they were moderate. And 2 questions, they are comparatively difficult. So this is the another division on the basis of difficulties. So this is the basic preview of the question from the history. I hope now you got the idea. Let's begin the discussion. Now, when we talk about the question number 1, again the question number 1 talks about the epithet that is given to the Gautam Buddha, right? So if you look at the first, the epithet of Nyayaput. Nyayaput is a epithet that is given to the Mahavir Jain, right? So understand here, this is the epithet given to Mahavir Jain, not to the Gautam Buddha. And Nyayaput actually means one who is free from the any bonds. Free from bonds. Okay. So again, understand this is one of the important philosophy that is accepted by the people of the Jainism. So understand, the Nyayaput is not actually ascribed to Gautam Buddha but to the Mahavir Jain. So definitely this is not right, because we have to find out correct here, right? So the 1 is definitely not correct. So you can eliminate A and C. So again, right, so you have to decide between the B and D, right? Sakya Muni, all of you know, Gautam Buddha actually comes from the Sakya clan, right? And therefore, Gautam Buddha is called as a Sakya Muni, the sage of Sakya clan. And therefore, Gautam Buddha was very popularly called as Sakya Muni. So if you look at the now, you can eliminate the D. Straight away you come to know B, 2 and 3 is the correct answer. So I hope now you got the you got the idea. So the difficulty level of this question is moderate if you apply the elimination method. Understand this point here, right? Obviously, third gut is a in the Pali canon, Gautam Buddha is called as a third gut. Basically means one who is free from the concept of birth or the death, or who is beyond the concept of dukh. So that is the way you will find out Gautam Buddha in Pali canon. He was referred as not Gautam Buddha, but as a third god. Basically that means one who is free from the, or we can say beyond the concept of birth, death or the dukh. Fine. Anyway, even if you do not have this idea, it doesn't matter. If you understand the elimination method, it doesn't matter, because see, Mahavir Jain was very popularly called as a Nyayaput. Sakya Muni, this is a very common fact that Gautam Buddha was called as a Sakya Muni. And therefore, straightway, question number 54, set A, the answer is B, 2 and 3. Let's move to the next question. Now, the next question is all about this site, and certain site from the Chalcolithic, megalithic, it is given to us. And again, first site that is given to us is the Chandraketugarh, and Chandraketugarh is a very important port site. It was very famous for trade, and again, this is from Bengal. Chandraketugarh is a very important port site in Bengal and not in the Odisha. So this is not right. Okay, it is from the West Bengal. So 1 is definitely not correct, right? So you can eliminate the 1 because we have to find out correct, right? Correct. And therefore A is out, D is out. Okay, A and D cannot be the answers, right? Fine. Inamgaon. Inamgaon is a very popular Chalcolithic as well as the megalithic site, and it is from the Maharashtra. So that is correct, right? So 2 is definitely correct. So straight away you come to know 2 and 3 is the right answers. Even though if you do not have much idea about the Mangudu or the Salihundam. Salihundam and Mangudu was in the news, and that is why UPSC have added these 2 sites. So it's a 2 static site along with the 2 current site. It is, again, Mangudu is a recently excavated site in the Kerala, and we have discovered the various megalithic stone from the this site. So this was in the news, and that is why Mangudu, it is in Kerala, and that is right. Okay. Understand Salihundam, it is also in the Andhra Pradesh, recently excavated, but again this is this site yielded the large number of stup, not the rock cut cave shrine. Okay, so therefore, though it is in the Andhra Pradesh, the rock cut cave shrine is definitely not right, and therefore the answer is for question number 55, B, 2 and 3. Anyway, if you have basic idea, Chandraketugarh and then Inamgaon, these are the popular site. So if you have basic understanding, on the basis of basic understanding like Chandraketugarh, you know that West Bengal, important port site, Inamgaon, Maharashtra, again it is an important Chalcolithic as well as megalithic site. So straight away you come to know only option that match these 2 criteria, 1 and 2 is B, 2 and 3. So your understanding along with the elimination method can easily give you good marks. Fine. Okay. Let's move on. Question number 56. Question number 56 is from the medieval, and we have just one question from the medieval. And as I have always said, Vijayanagar is a very important topic in medieval, first point. And second, I have said Krishna Dev Rai. Do prepare the Krishna Dev Rai. If you have basic idea, again, see, the answer is a Krishna Dev Rai. The story is like, see, there is a, we have fort of Bhatkal port, and understand this is one of the important port for the spice trade. And the Portuguese, they came to India for the spices, and therefore understand here, the Portuguese, they wanted the fort of Bhatkal. And therefore, you will find out the Portuguese governor, he gave the friendship, the offer of friendship alliance to the Veer Narasimha, the Vijayanagar king. But Veer Narasimha did not, Veer Narasimha, he thought that he do not require the Portuguese alliance, and therefore he refused to give the fort of Bhatkal to the Portuguese. Then we have, understand, the after Veer Narasimha we have Krishna Dev Rai, KDR, and during the KDR we have one of the important Portuguese governor, that is the Alfonso de Albuquerque. He is the most important Portuguese governor. And now Alfonso de Albuquerque, he proposed the friendship alliance to the Krishna Dev Rai, and he basically offered the Krishna Dev Rai that I will train your army if you give us the fort of Bhatkal. Against the particularly the Bijapur kingdom. Bijapur kingdom had huge rivalry with the Vijayanagar empire, and therefore understand here, see, this fort of Bhatkal, the permission was given by the Krishna Dev Rai to Alfonso de Albuquerque, and therefore it led to the alliance between the Vijayanagar, or we can say Krishna Dev Rai and the Alfonso de Albuquerque. So again, this is quite expected question, very popular one, classical topic. So I consider this on a on a easier path. Most of the aspirant, perhaps they they will be in a position to make it right. All good. Let's move on to the next question. Now again, next we have from the British question from the British economic policy, and if you look at the trend analysis video of GS score, there we have discussed about various subtopic of the modern India. I have categorically said British economic policy is a very important theme in the modern India, and you can see most of the years we have the question. Again, even 2024 we do have the question from the British economic policy, and this question is comparatively easier. Now understand, what is the problem of Rayatwari? What is the biggest problem of Rayatwari? Again, first is the over collection of land revenue. This is one of the biggest problem. We have one of the highest land revenue in the Rayatwari system. That is the first criticism. And second criticism is the what we call as the collection of land revenue even during the exigencies. Means even in case of drought, even in case of flood, even in case of certain natural calamity, the British used to collect the land revenue. This was one of the biggest drawback of the Rayatwari system. Now if you look at the question carefully here, Rayatwari, fine. Peasants were exempted. Peasants were exempted from the revenue payment in case of bad harvest or the natural calamities. See, as I said, in Rayatwari, one of the biggest problem was even during the exigencies, the British used to collect the land revenue. So this is one of the, and therefore this is one of the limitation. Therefore, this statement is not correct, because even in the natural calamities, the Britishers used to collect the land revenue from the peasant. They were not exempted. Fine. That is why it is not correct. When we talk about permanent settlement, all of you know, we have Britishers, we have Jamindar in between, and we have peasant, right? And Jamindar, under there is a law called as the Sunset Law. What this Sunset Law says, on a fixed day, Jamindar have to pay the land revenue to the Britishers. If they fail to pay the land revenue before the sunset on that fixed day, the jamindari of the the jamindari of the jamindar would be taken away and would be given to some other jamindar or some other merchant. And this led to one of the biggest problem in the permanent settlement, that is what we call as a absentee landlordism. So again, the classical question, we can say it is a comparatively easier question. So what the question says here, jamindar, if failed to pay the land revenue, then he would be removed from his jamindari would be auctioned to some other person. That's absolutely right. And what we have to find out, correct, right? So 1 is not correct, only 2 is correct, and therefore B, 2 only is the right answer. I hope now you got the idea. Let's move to the next question. Question number 58 from the set A. Okay, we have to find out correct, and I consider this question on the moderate level, and this depend on your logic, your understanding. See, your accuracy in this question would depend on your understanding rather than the knowledge. For example, parable. What do you mean by parable? The short stories, right? See, in the Upanishad, all of you know philosophy, right? So we have philosophy, and philosophy do contain lots of short stories. We have the stories of two chariot in the Katha Upanishad. We have the famous story of Nachiket. We have so many parable in the Upanishad. Okay, so this statement is definitely not right. We have many short stories or moral lessons, or we can say small stories in the Upanishad, right? So any philosophy is always going to have certain short stories. It is as simple as that. Okay, so the first statement is definitely incorrect, right? Now second is again given on the basis of timeline. So what is the timeline of Upanishad? See, Upanishad written from the 600 BCE, and then this goes up to the we can say Gupta period and so on. Fine, but the earliest Upanishad we have the timeline somewhat from 600 BC to 300 BC. Fine. When we talk about Puranas, the earliest time of Puranas is 300 AD to somewhat 800 AD. So on the basis of this, we can definitely argue that since it is this was initially compiled in the BC, this is compiled in the AD, and therefore Upanishad is definitely earlier than the Puranas, right? So therefore this information is definitely correct, right? Now what we have to find out? We have to find out correct, and therefore only 2 is the correct answer. I hope now you got the idea. Fine, all good. Then we have question number 60. Now this year we have 2 questions from the art and culture, and both again came from the current affairs. In the art and culture we have 2 questions, and both came from the current affairs, and moreover in the current affairs again one from the intangible cultural heritage, and again second is from the World Heritage list site. So again both in the art and culture, both question is linked to the current affairs, and both is again from the various site that is linked registered by the UNESCO. So anyway, this is the unique point of the UPSC preliminary. Fine. Anyway, intangible cultural heritage list of the UNESCO, which is latest, right? Latest. So when we talk about Durga Puja was added in the year 2021. Garba, this was added in the year 2023, just last year. And then we have Kumbh Mela, if I recall correctly, it is in 2017, right? So Chhaw dance is prior to that, right? So last few years we have Kumbh Mela, then followed by Garba, followed by Durga Puja, and then Garba. Garba is the recent one, so it's a factual question. Obviously, I hope you have read in the current affairs. So question number 60, the correct answer is C, Garba dance. Fine. Let's move on. Again, question number 61, again comparatively factual one. So see, by following the convention of choosing the eldest person of the Constituent Assembly as a temporary speaker, you will find out the Constituent Assembly prior to the Rajendra Prasad elected the Dr. Sachidanand Sinha as the temporary president. Okay, so this is a well-known fact. I guess most of the aspirant they are going to make it right. So this is one of the easiest question in the CSE 2024 preliminary exam. Fine, let's move on. Then we have question number 62, Government of India Act 1935. Again, in history generally we do have question from the constitutional reforms. So this pattern even continue in the 2024. And now we have question from the Government of India Act 1935. So when we talk about Government of India Act 1935, it proposed the All India Federation. All good? All India Federation. And this All India Federation would comprise of now British India. British India means the India that was directly ruled by the Britishers, right? And then princely state, which was not directly but indirectly ruled by the British state. Okay. So when we talk about Government of India Act 1935, it proposed the All India Federation that would comprise of British India and the princely state. Obviously the federation never came into being, but definitely it was recommended by the Government of India Act 1935. So it provided establishment of All India Federation, again British Indian provinces and the princely state. That is absolutely right. Now, according to Sumit Sarkar, understand, Sumit Sarkar provided the criticism of Government of India Act 1935. And according to Sumit Sarkar, Defence and Foreign Affairs was given to Viceroy, not to the legislature. So according to Sumit Sarkar, one of the criticism of Government of India Act 1935 is that Defence and Foreign Affairs were given to the Viceroy and not to the legislature. So again, this is not right. What we have to find out? We have to find out correct, and only one is correct. Therefore, A, 62, A is the correct answer. Let's move on. Question number 63. We have one of the very important writer, Bhas, and all of you know Bhas wrote many play. The most popular is the Swapna Vasodattam, right? But again, understand, this is little comparatively more difficult. Perhaps many of you have not heard the name here. The correct answer is Madhyam Vayog. Again, basically this is a very important play that basically established the relationship between the Bhim and the Ghatotkacha. Okay. So in this play, basically then Ghatotkacha finally come to know that Bhim is his father. Okay. So that established the the relationship, father and son, a relationship between the Lord Bhim and the Ghatotkacha. So this is again given. So very few aspirant will have the idea about the Madhyam Vayog, okay, which was written by the Bhas. Again, very important play, but it is hardly given in the standard text, and therefore what you could have chosen here, the elimination method. Elimination method could have given you the better answers. Okay, for example, we know that Mahabhasya is a very popular text. This is written by Patanjali, not by the Bhasya. This is given in all the standard textbook, right? This is given in all the textbook. Mahabhasya was written by the Patanjali. It's not a play. It's a it's a commentary on grammar, right? It's a grammar, right? Natya Shastra is written by Bharat Muni, right? Bharat Muni. Again, it is given in all the textbook, right? Art and Culture, you have definitely read Natya Shastra, again by the Bharat Muni. Again, Kavya Lankar is a Buddhist text. Okay. Alankar is one of the sect in the Buddhism, and it is one of the important texts of the Alankar. Okay. And see, Bhas was not connected with the Buddhism. So even from that point of view, even you could have come to the answers. So in this case, question number 63, obviously it was comparatively difficult, but by choosing the elimination method, you could have easily come to the come to the accurate answers. Fine. So 63, the correct answer is the Madhyam Vayog. Fine. Okay. Question number 64. This is the difficult among all the history question. This is the most difficult question. Sanghabhuti, again, he is the monk who went to the China, and then he wrote the commentary on what we call as Sarvastivad, Vinay. Okay, so again it's very difficult. Very few aspirant they are going to make it right. All good. So it's very difficult. So I don't think so. This is going to be very deciding one. Fine. Okay. Then we have again second question from the art and culture, and again you will find out World Heritage List, that is by the UNESCO. So what is added in 2023? All of two things: Santi Niketan of the Guru Rabindranath Tagore and Sacred Ensemble of the Hoysal, right? So again Rani Ki Vav, it was added earlier, and even Mahabodhi Temple Complex, right? So though they are the World Heritage List, but they were added not in 2023. In 2023, two sites were added, that is the Santi Niketan and the Sacred Ensemble of the Hoysal. Therefore, B only 2 is the correct answer. I hope now you got the idea. Fine. Let's move on. So next question is going to be based on the polity, and the polity part will be taken by the very reputed faculty, that is the Viraj Rani. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well, and I hope you did well in the examination also. We will now discuss questions with respect to polity. So first question is question number 66 from series A. What does it ask you? As per Article 368 of the Constitution, Parliament may amend any provisions of the Constitution by the way of addition, variation, repeal. So amendment contains all these components. Okay? You can add to a particular provision, you can change the statement of that particular provision and therefore change the meaning of it, or you can completely disown it or do away with the constitutional provision. So amendment means all the three, hence our answer therefore will be D. Moving to question number 67. Now this is a question on money bill, and for some years now what we are seeing is questions on money bill have increased. Alright, questions on money bill have increased. So what does this question ask you? Which of the following statements are correct in respect of money bill in the parliament? The first statement is Article 109 mentions special procedure in respect of money bill. Yes, it does. 1010 is popular, but 109 also contains provision with respect to money bill. The first statement is correct. Second statement, the money bill shall not be introduced in Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha. Of course it cannot be. It can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. Third statement, the Rajya Sabha can either approve the bill or suggest changes but not reject it. Yes, Rajya Sabha has 14 days in which it can either approve, or what it can do is it can suggest the changes. So three statements are correct. Fourth statement, amendment to money bill suggested by Rajya Sabha have to be accepted by Lok Sabha. No, there is no such compulsion. Lok Sabha can completely ignore the suggestions made. Our answer therefore to question number 68 of series A is C. 1, 2 and 3. Then we come to 69 question. Now it was a bit tricky. Alright, it was a bit tricky question. So if we look at the first column now, Brigadier, Air Commodore and Commander. It should not be Commander, it should be Commodore. So first column is wrong. Second column, Major General, Vice Air Marshal, this is wrong. This is not correct. Actually second column is also not correct with respect to the ranks of respective officers in the three services. Third, Major, Squadron Leader, Lieutenant Commander, this is correct. Alright, the third one is correct. And then Lieutenant Colonel, Group Captain, Captain, this is also not correct. So 1, 3 and 4 are not correct. What is correct? Only 3. The D is the answer. Only 3 is the answer. Moving on to question number 70. Question number 70. The Northeastern Council was established by the Northeastern Council Act 1971. Subsequent to the amendment of NEC Act 2002, the council comprises of which of the following members? Okay, so first is correct. First statement is correct. Governors of constituent states. Then after that, chief ministers of the constituent states. 3 members to be nominated by president. Yes, this is also correct. And then Home Minister of India. Fourth statement is also correct. So D is the answer. D is the answer. Coming to question number 71. How many delimitation commissions have been constituted by the government of India till December 2023? So the correct answer is 4. Correct answer here is 4. Delimitation commissions were created in 52, 62, 72, 52, 63, 73 and 2002. Alright, so there have been 4 delimitation commissions till now. Question number 72, again a bit factual question, but now what we see is UPSC coming back to 8th schedule and to the languages, which is a good sign, which is basically a good sign. The Constitution 71st Amendment Act 1992 amends the 8th schedule to the Constitution to include which of the following languages? Konkani, Manipuri and Nepali is the correct combination. Maithili was added later on. Alright, Maithili was added later on by 92nd, not 71st but 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Our answer here therefore will be A. Moving on to question number 73. And after 2019 again they have come to political parties and their founders. In 2019 they had asked such question. Bharatiya Jan Sangh, yes, it is Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. Socialist Party is Acharya Narendra Dev and JP Narayan. So it is not C Rajagopalachari. So second column or second pair basically is wrong. Congress for Democracy, yes, Babu Jagjivan Ram, he created this party after emergency was revoked. Swatantra Party, not Acharya Narendra Dev, it is C Rajagopalachari and Minu Masani. So 2 of the 4 pairs are incorrect. So it will be only 2. B. Answer will be B. Moving on to 74th. Now this time they have come to parts of Constitution. Earlier they were more concerned with schedules of the Constitution. Alright. So which of the following statements are correct about the Constitution of India? Powers of municipalities are given in part 9 of the Constitution. Yes, they are. This is the correct statement. Emergency provisions are given in part 18 of the Constitution. Again the statement is correct. Third statement, provisions related to amendment of the Constitution are given in part 20 of the Constitution. Again correct. So our answer therefore will be 1, 2 and 3. Answer will be D. Answer will be D. Moving on to question number 75. In 75 now what you will notice is all these subjects are mentioned in union list, and all these subjects they were basically the question was on all these subjects because they have either been in current affairs this year or previous year to it. Alright, they were either in current affairs this year or a year prior to it. So interstate trade and commerce is a state subject? No, it is a union subject. Second statement or statement B, option B, interstate migration is a state subject? Nahi, again nahi. Interstate quarantine is a union subject under union list? Yes. Corporation tax is a state subject? No, it is a union subject. So here 75 ka option is C. Correct option is C. Okay, this is one of the easiest questions. One of the easiest questions I will say. Under which of the following articles of the Constitution has the Supreme Court of India placed right to privacy? So it is Article 21. Article 21, Puttaswamy case. Question number 77. Okay, what duties of Chief of Defence Staff? What duties of Chief of Defence Staff performs as Head of Department of Military Affairs? So first is permanent chairman of Chief of Staff Committee. This is correct. Exercise military command over the 3 service chief. Now he does exercise command over the 3 service chiefs, but not as Head of Department of Military Affairs. So second statement is not correct. Third statement, principal military advisor to the defense minister on all tri-service matters. This is also correct. So option 1 and 3 are correct. Hence our answer will be D. Okay. Operation undertaken by army towards upliftment of local population in remote areas to include addressing of their basic need is Operation Sadbhavna. Now this operation basically took place in the borders areas of Kashmir. ठीक है, in the border areas of Kashmir. So here the correct option is C. Correct option is C. Apart from that, Operation Sankalp was undertaken by Indian Navy for the purpose of maintaining maritime security in the Gulf region. Operation Maitri was for the purpose of providing Nepal help after it had to face the challenge of earthquake. And option D, that is Operation Madat. Operation Madat, it is again an operation undertaken by Navy for the purpose of providing relief in Kerala. ठीक है, तो C is the right option. Question number 80. Which of the following statements about the ethics committee in Lok Sabha are correct? Initially it was a ad hoc committee. Lok Sabha wala, yes, it was initially a ad hoc committee. Only a member of Lok Sabha can make a complaint relating to unethical conduct of a member of Lok Sabha. Yes, even if an ordinary citizen wants to make complaint, he can do so, but officially the complaint will only be taken. Officially the complaint only will be taken by the speaker if it comes from member of Lok Sabha, not otherwise. Third statement, this committee cannot take up matters which is sub judice. Yes, this is correct. It cannot take up matters that are already been disputed or deliberated in the court of law. So first and third statement are correct. Our answer is C. Okay. Then we come to Women's Reservation Bill. Consider the following statements regarding Nari Shakti Vandana Abhiyan. Provisions will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha. Now this is the 18th Lok Sabha that is going on. Provisions will, dekho, the bill will take effect after official notification to that end is made a reality. So there has to be an official notification in the Gazette, and after that the provisions of bill will come into effect. Now, for official notification to be made, what has to be first conducted? What has to be first conducted? Delimitation wala exercise. The exercise of delimitation. ठीक है. So we cannot with certainty say, we basically cannot with certainty say that with 18th Lok Sabha what has happened is Women's Reservation Bill has become a reality. Second statement, it will be in force for 15 years after becoming an act. Yes, it will be in force for 15 years. After that what will happen? Parliament will have to pass the act again. Third statement, there are provisions for reservation of seats for scheduled caste women within the quota reserved for scheduled caste. Yes, it provides the provision for reservation within reservation. Alright, so which statements are correct? C. 2 and 3 statements are correct. 2 and 3 statements are correct. Moving on to question number 83, one of the easiest questions. Prohibition matlab, it is an order from superior court to lower court, no question about it. So, a writ of prohibition is an order. A writ of prohibition is an order issued by Supreme Court or High Court to lower court prohibiting continuation of proceedings in a case. C is the correct answer. Now moving to question number 84. Consider the following statement. It is the governor. It is the governor of the state who recognizes and declares a community of that state as scheduled tribe. Nahi, it is the president. It is not the governor, it is the president. The first statement is not correct. Second statement. A community declared as scheduled tribe in a state need not be so in another state. Yes, in India, a category that is recognized as scheduled caste or scheduled tribe. In both cases it is there. It is not necessary that in Maharashtra if someone is recognized as scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, the same community will be recognized as scheduled caste or scheduled tribe in say Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan. So second statement is correct. Which of the statement are correct? Only two. Only two. Chalo, now let us look at question number 85. Question number 85. First statement question is with reference to union budget. Consider the following statements. First statement, the union finance minister on behalf of prime minister lays the annual financial statement both before both houses. This statement is wrong for two reasons. First and foremost, annual financial statement is laid on the floor of Lok Sabha. I'm so sorry. Annual financial statement is laid on the floor of Lok Sabha and not both the houses. First and foremost. And second, budget is laid on the floor of the parliament by President of India, not Prime Minister of India. It is President of India. Okay. At the union level, no demand for grant can be made except on the recommendation of President of India. Second statement is correct. Second statement is correct. Which of the following statement therefore are correct? It is B. It is B. Two only. 93. With reference to Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. While any resolution for removal of the Speaker of Lok Sabha is under consideration, he shall not preside. This statement is correct. He shall not preside over the Lok Sabha. While recommendation for his removal is taken into consideration. Second statement, she shall not have right to speak. No, this is not correct. Speaker, the concerned person who is speaker and whose removal is under consideration, that person will have the right to speak. He shall not be entitled to vote on resolution at the first instance. This statement is also correct. He will have the right to vote in the first instance. He will not have the casting vote. तो यहाँ पे what is correct? A, only one is correct. Moving to question number 94. With reference to Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. A bill pending in Lok Sabha lapses on its dissolution. Yes, it does lapse on its resolution. A bill passed by Lok Sabha and pending in Rajya Sabha lapses on dissolution of Lok Sabha. It lapses on dissolution of Lok Sabha. Yes, this is also correct. A bill in regard to which President of India notified his or her intention to summons the House to a joint sitting lapses on dissolution of Lok Sabha. Nahi, this statement is not correct. Dekho, when the bill is reserved for joint sitting, even if the Lok Sabha dissolves, joint sitting will happen and the bill will not lapse. The bill will basically not lapse. So third statement is not correct. Our answer is B. Our answer therefore is B. Then coming to 95, question number 95. With reference to Parliament, consider the following statement. Prorogation of the House happens by the advice of Council of Ministers. Yes, President does it, but he does it on the advice of Council of Ministers. Prorogation of a House is generally done after the House is adjourned sine die, but there is no bar to the President of India prorogating the House which is in session. Yes, the President does not have to bind himself with occurrence of adjournment sine die. Even without adjournment sine die, the President may prorogue the session. Alright, obviously with the advice of Council of Ministers. Dissolution of Lok Sabha is done by President of India who, save in exceptional circumstances, does so on the advice of Council of Ministers. This statement 2 and 3. Prorogation of the House done the House, but there is no bar to which is in session. Dissolution of the House is done by the President. Okay, I think there is some issue with respect to this question. Okay, we'll take this question up. Now, coming to questions from international relations. There are only 3 questions. So, first question is, which of the following statements about exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 are correct? It is a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. No, this statement is not correct. It was a joint military exercise between India and Sri Lanka, not Bangladesh. India and Sri Lanka, not Bangladesh. Okay. Moving on to second statement, it commenced in Amud, Pune. This statement is correct. Second statement is correct. Joint response during counter-terrorism operations was the goal of this operation. Yes. Third statement is also correct. Fourth statement, Indian Air Force was part of this exercise. Yes, Indian Air Force was part of this exercise. So, mainly it was an exercise of Indian Army, but Indian Air Force was also part of it. So, bearing first statement, 3 statements are correct. Our answer will be D. Our answer basically will be D. 2, 3 and 4. Question number 91. Question number 91. The statement reads, there is instability and worsening security situation in Sahel region. This statement is absolutely correct. Sahel region is in Africa. Sahel region is in Africa. The first statement is correct. Second statement, there have been military takeovers, coups, in several countries of Sahel in the recent past. There have been military takeovers. There have been coups, but not in the recent past. So, therefore, second statement basically is not correct. So, यहाँ पे our answer will be C. Our answer basically will be C. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Then coming to last question of international relations. Question number 96. European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. Yes, it did. First statement is correct. Second statement. First statement is correct. Second statement. There have been. Oh, sorry. दिनेश क्या कर लो ये Question number 96. Statement 1, the European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. The statement is correct. Second statement, the European Union intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040. And therefore aims to develop all its own clean energy technology by that. It is not 2040, it is 2050. Alright, so second statement is not correct. Our answer therefore here will be, statement 1 is correct. Our answer here will be C. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is incorrect. Alright friends, so that was from me, from the subjects of polity and international relations. With respect to science and tech and environment and ecology, now Rajvardhan sir will take over. So, sir.
Hello everyone. So firstly we'll be discussing about questions from environment. So first question is question number 16 and we are discussing set A. One of the following regions has the world's largest tropical peatland which holds about 3 years worth of global carbon emissions from fossil fuels, and the possible destruction of which can exert detrimental effect on the global climate. Which one of the following denotes that region, right? So the question is about the world's largest tropical peatland. Peatland is a land where we have the formation of peat, that is partially decomposed organic matter, and it is there in Congo basin, and that's why answer of this question is B. It's there in Congo basin. Question number 16, answer is B. Next now, so information based question. Next question, with reference to perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, that is PFAS, that are used in making many consumer products, consider the following statement. So PFAS are the synthetic chemicals, and that they are used in number of products, and they are even used in the packaging of food material, right? So let us consider the statements first. PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. So first statement is a correct statement. First statement is correct. Second, PFAS are not easily degraded in the environment. So that is also correct statement. They are not easily degraded in the environment, and that's why they remain occupied or they remain accumulated in the environment for a longer period of time. Third, persistent exposure to PFAS can lead to bioaccumulation in animal bodies. So that is also correct statement. If there is exposure to PFAS to the animals for a longer period of time, it would lead to bioaccumulation of that particular synthetic chemical PFAS. So all three statements are correct statements, and that's why answer of this question is D, 1, 2 and 3. Next question, question number 18th. Consider the following. Parasitoids species are found in how many of the above kind of organisms? Now parasitoids are the larvae of the organisms that live in the body of host or on the body of the host, and as a result of this dependency of larvae on their host eventually dies. So that is called as parasitoids. So there are two prime species of parasitoids. First is flies and second is wasps. They are parasitoids, no doubt. Then centipedes and termites are not parasitoids. They are not parasitoids. But there is doubt with respect to carabid beetles. But there was one article wherein the carabid beetles have been considered as parasitoid species, and that's why we will go with right now we will go with answer B. But for this particular question answer can also be A, right? Answer can also be A, but right now we are going with only 3 because there was one article wherein it has been mentioned that carabid beetles are parasitoids. So as of now we are going with answer B, but there might be the case that answer of this question may be A. So let's so 18th question, answer is B with a star mark. It may change to A as per the official answer key of UPSC. So that is about 18th question. Next question now. 19th, consider the following statement. Consider the following plants. How many of the above belong to the pea family? All these are the examples of pea family, and that's why answer of this question is 1, 2, 3. All these are pea family plant species, and that's why answer of this question is C. 19th answer is C, all 3. Next, 20th question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. So this question is regarding Indian flying fox. So statement 1, the Indian flying fox is placed under the vermin category in the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Now this statement is a correct statement. if we consider Indian flying fox, its schedule under Wildlife Protection Act today, it is Schedule 2. But earlier it was under Schedule 5, and Schedule 5 is the schedules of vermin. It is a schedule of vermins, and that's why we will consider this statement as correct statement. Today, schedule of Indian flying fox is Schedule 2, but earlier it was there in the Schedule 5 related to vermins, and that's why statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. The Indian flying fox feeds on the blood of other animals. Now, this is an incorrect statement. This statement is incorrect because largely it feeds on fruits and also nectar. It does not feed on blood of other animals, and that's why statement 2 is incorrect for sure. And there is only one statement which says that statement 2 is incorrect, and that is option C. That is option C, and that's why we will have to consider statement 1 as correct, though today Indian flying fox is there in Schedule 2. So, answer of this question is C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. 20th question, answer is C. Next, 21. The organisms like cicada, froghopper and pond skater are what? These are insects, right? So, answer of this question is C. These species are the species of insects. 21, answer is C. Next, 22. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Statement 1. Many chewing gums found in the market are considered a source of environmental pollution. This statement is a correct statement because many chewing gums, they are considered as a source of plastic pollution. They lead to plastic pollution, and that's why first statement is correct statement. Statement 2. Many chewing gums contain plastic as a gum base. So, that statement is also a correct statement, and as a result of that, many chewing gums are considered as environmental pollutants, or they are a cause of environmental pollution. So, both these statements are correct statements, and statement 2 is a kind of explanation of statement 1, and that's why answer of this question is A. Both the statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Answer of this question is A. 22, answer is A. Next, 23. 23. Consider the following pairs. On one hand, we have countries, and on other we have animals found in those countries, and we are supposed to find out how many pairs are correctly matched. First pair is Brazil. It is matched with Indri. Indri is a primate and it is majorly found in Madagascar, and that's why first pair is incorrectly matched. First pair is incorrectly matched. Second, Indonesia, it is matched with elk. Elk is a kind of deer and it is found in Central America and Central Asia and America, and that's why this statement is also, this pair is also incorrect. It is not there in Indonesia, it's there in Central Asia, not in Indonesia. So, next, Madagascar, it is matched with bonobo, which is again a primate species, and this bonobo is found in Central Africa. It is not there in Madagascar, and that's why all these three pairs of countries and related animals are incorrect, and that's why answer of this question is D, none. 23, answer is D, none of these are correctly matched. Next, 24. Consider the following statements regarding World Toilet Organization. World Toilet Organization. First statement. It is one of the agencies of the United Nations. Incorrect statement. It is not for profit organization, and that's why, and it is not an agency of the United Nations. So, first statement is incorrect. Second, World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day, World Toilet College are the initiatives of this organization to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. Yes, these are the initiatives of this World Toilet Organization, wherein their focus is to make sure that there is promotion of sanitation. So, second statement is correct. Third, the main focus of its function is to grant funds to the least developed countries and developing countries to achieve the end of open defecation. This statement is incorrect. It is an organization which works to create awareness, it promotes education, it provides advisory services with respect to sanitation, and that's why it is not associated with the granting of funds. Third statement is also incorrect statement. Only second statement is correct, and that's why answer of this question is A. Question number 24, answer is A. Next, 25. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements. First statement. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. This statement is a correct statement. Lions do not have any particular breeding season. They can carry out breeding activity throughout the year. So first statement is correct, which says that they do not have particular breeding season. First is correct. Second, unlike most other big cats, cheetahs do not roar. This statement is also correct statement, because cheetahs, they do not roar, they chirp or they purr. They do not roar, and that's why second statement is a correct statement. Third, unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. Scent marking is a practice used by animals in order to mark their territories, and this can be done by dropping, let's say, the scat. That means the defecation can be carried out by these animals to mark their territories. So unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent marking. This statement is incorrect statement. Why? Because male leopards also mark their territory, proclaim their territory by scent marking, right? They do carry out this kind of practice in order to mark their territory, and that's why third statement is incorrect statement. Only first and second statements are correct, and hence answer of this question is A. Question number 25, answer is A. Next, 26. Which one of the following is the correct description of 100 million farmers? So this is one of the platforms, and under this platform they want to bring food and farmers at the central stage with respect to climate action, and that's why answer of this question is A. It is a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero, carbon nature positive, that are net zero, nature positive, and that aims to increase farmer resilience. So first statement is the correct statement with respect to 100 million farmers platform. So question number 26, answer is A. Next, 27. Consider the following. So question is, how many of the above are considered distributed energy resources? Distributed energy resources means the resources that provide energy at the local level, right? It might not be the level, it might not be the region where power is generated, but the energy is made available even to the local level. Those energy sources are called as distributed energy sources. All these are distributed energy sources. First is battery storage. Obviously, battery is a distributed energy storage. First is correct. Biomass generators are also distributed storage because they can be established at the village level as well. Third, fuel cells. Fuel cells are also distributed energy generators or resource. Fourth, rooftop solar photovoltaic units. It is also a kind of distributed energy resource. So all four are the distributed energy resources, and that's why answer of this question is D, all four. Question number 27, answer is D. Next, 28. Which one of the following shows a unique relationship with an insect that has co-evolved with it, and that is the only insect that can pollinate this tree? So there is a symbiotic relationship between fig plant and fig warp, and that's why answer of this question is A, right? It is fig warp which carries out pollination of fig plants, and it is the only pollinator for fig plant, and that's why answer of this question is A. Question number 28, answer is A. Next, 29. Consider the following. Consider the following. How many of the above have poisonous species among them. Now, poisonous species are there with butterflies, not all, but few butterflies are poisonous. Fishes, we know that fishes are poisonous, right? So, few species of fishes are poisonous. Frogs, again, few frog species are also poisonous. So, all three statements, all three are the correct statements, and that's why answer of this question is C, all three. Some of the species belonging to all these three categories are poisonous, and that's why answer is C. Question number 29, answer is C. 30. Consider the following. How many of the above trees are actually native to India? Now, first is cashew. Cashew is not native to India, it is native to Brazil. Cashew is native to Brazil. So, first is incorrect. First is incorrect. Cashew is native to Brazil. Papaya is native to tropical America, and that's why again it is incorrect. Red sanders. You must have seen Pushpa movie. Pushpa movie is based on red sanders, and red sanders are endemic to, they are actually native to Andhra Pradesh, or we can say that they are native to Eastern Ghats, and that's why answer is red sanders. So, only one species is native to India, and that's why answer is A. Question number 30, answer is A. Next, 90th question. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, which one of the following is the largest source of the sulfur dioxide emissions? So, even if you do not know the largest source of sulfur dioxide emission as per EPA, based on logic you can find out the answer. Answer is power plants, because it is the largest let's say activity which is using fossil fuels that leads to emission of sulfur dioxide, right? And that's why answer is D. 90th question, answer is D. Next, now we will be discussing questions from science and technology. First question, with reference to radioisotope thermoelectric generator RTGs, consider the following statements. So, first statement, RTGs, you can consider RTGs as nuclear batteries. They are used to power spacecraft. Let's consider the statements. First, RTGs are miniature fission reactors. Incorrect statement. They are not fission or fusion reactors. They are batteries that are used in spacecrafts. Right. So, first statement is incorrect statement. So, if you eliminate first statement, you will be able to get the answer. So, elimination technique is back. So, first statement is incorrect, and that's why you can eliminate these three statements, these three options, and that's why answer of this question is B, 2 and 3. So, second statement, RTGs are used for powering the onboard systems of spacecraft. Correct statement. It is generally used by NASA, and even ISRO is developing it. Third, RTGs can use plutonium-238, that is correct statement, which is a byproduct of weapon development. So, that is a correct statement. Right. So, second and third statements are correct statements, and that's why answer of this question is B. So, we can consider that, we can say that elimination can be used for these kind of questions. So, 31 answer is B. 32. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. So, giant stars are way larger than, if we consider the mass of giant stars and their luminance, then they are way larger than dwarf stars. But the luminous nature of these giant stars is the result of fast nuclear reaction, nuclear fusion reaction that is being carried out inside them. And as a result of that, they exhaust their fuel at a very fast rate, leading to faster death as well. So, question number 32, first statement, which says that giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars, is an incorrect statement. First statement is incorrect. Statement 2, compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. This statement is correct statement. As giant stars have greater rate of nuclear reactions, they exhaust their fuel very early, and that's why they die early than dwarf stars. So statement 2 is correct, statement 1 is incorrect, and that's why answer of this question is D. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Question number 32, answer is D. Next now, 33. Which one of the following is synthesized in human body that dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow? So this question is related to vasodilation. Inside human body, nitrate is converted into nitric oxide, and this nitric oxide signals blood vessels to relax, and as a result of that, blood vessels expand, and that allows human body to increase the blood flow, and that's why answer of this question is A. It is nitric oxide which is synthesized by human body that leads to vasodilation, which allows more blood to flow. So answer is A. 33, answer is A. 34. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements. First, what we are supposed to find out, in how many of the above activities can radars be used, right? So first, identification of narcotics on passengers at airport or in aircraft. Now this is not possible with the help of radars. So first statement is incorrect statement. It's not an application of radars, because radars, they use some kind of radiations and they capture those radiations back in order to identify the product or in order to identify the object from which it has been reflected. So it's very difficult to use radars for identification of narcotics carried by passengers in aircrafts or on airports. So first statement is incorrect. Second, monitoring of precipitation. So ground based radars are used to monitor precipitation, right? So second statement is correct. Third, you must have heard about Doppler radars. The Doppler radars are used for identification of clouds that possess rain. Second statement is correct. Third, tracking the migration of animals. It is also possible with the help of radars. We can track animal migration, especially migration of birds. So second and third statements are correct statements, and that's why answer of this question is B, only 2. 34, answer is B. Next, 35. Consider the following aircrafts. Consider the following aircrafts. How many of the above are considered 5th generation fighter aircrafts? So only few countries right now have 5th generation fighter aircrafts, like USA, China, Russia. In India, we do not have 5th generation of fighter aircraft. Rafale and Tejas are 4+ generation or 4.5 generation fighter aircrafts. They are not 5th generation fighter aircrafts, and so is the case with MiG-29, which is 4th generation fighter. MiG-29 is 4th generation fighter. So all three statements are incorrect statements, and that's why answer of this question is D, none. Question number 35, answer is D, none. Next, in which of the following are hydrogels used? So hydrogels are polymers which have 3D structure, and they have ability to absorb more fluid, and that's why they can be used for various applications. Let us consider the applications. First, controlled drug delivery in patients. So that is an application of hydrogels. Second, mobile air conditioning systems. Now this is little confusing, whether hydrogels is used in mobile air conditioning system, but if we consider use of hydrogels in electronics, we know that electronics, they use lots of energy, and that energy is wasted in the form of heat. So heat is generated by these electronic gadgets that we use, and as a result of that heat, it might hamper the functioning of those electronic gadgets, and that's why to cool down these electronic gadgets, hydrogel is used in these electronic gadgets. So if that is a mobile air conditioning system, then we can consider second statement as correct statement, right? So second statement is correct, but now it depends on interpretation, how it is being interpreted. Third, preparation of industrial lubricants. So that is correct statement. For the preparation of industrial lubricants, hydrogels are used. So all three statements are correct statements, and that's why answer of this question is D. Question number 36, answer is D, all three, 1, 2 and 3. Next, 37. Which one of the following is the exhaust pipe emission from fuel cell electric vehicles powered by hydrogen? They emit only water vapor and warm air, and that's why answer of this question number 37 is D. It's D, warm water vapor, right? The emission consists of water vapor and warm air. Answer is D. Question number 37, answer is D. Next now, 38. Recently, the term pumped storage hydropower is actually and appropriately discussed in the context of which of the following? So it is discussed in the context of storage. So we know that there is lack of storage availability for the surplus wind and solar energy. So in the context of storage of this renewable energy, this term pumped storage hydropower is used, and that's why answer of this question is C, long duration energy storage. Question number 38, answer is C. Next, 39. Membrane bioreactors are often discussed in the context of. So membrane bioreactor technology is a technology that is used for the wastewater treatment, and that's why answer of this question is D. Membrane bioreactors are used for the treatment of wastewater. Answer is D. 39, answer is D. Now last question from science and technology. So there is slight correction. So question number 48. Which one of the following words/phrases is most appropriately used to denote an interoperable network of 3D virtual world? So if it is a 3D virtual world, it should be metaverse, but that can be accessed simultaneously by millions of users. So millions of users can access this 3D virtual world based on their own avatars, who can exert property rights over virtual items. There might be, let's say, some shopping complexes in this virtual world, and the users can go to those virtual shopping complexes and can exert their right on the products that they want to buy. So that is related to metaverse, and that's why answer of this question is C, metaverse, right? Big data analytics and cryptography is out of the question. You might get confused between metaverse and virtual matrix, but more appropriate is metaverse. Question number 48, answer is C. So that is about our discussion of environment and science and technology questions. Now Abhishek sir will discuss questions from governance. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek. So in this year's prelims examination, governance was not so much. There were 3 odd questions, and I'm going to discuss two miscellaneous questions with it. So 3 questions from governance and 2 questions from the miscellaneous section. So let's have a look at the first question from the governance, and we're talking about set A, right? So if you look at this, it is about Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, and we need to find the correct ones. As you can see, the optionals are arranged in a manner wherein you can use the elimination. Okay, so let us analyze this question statement by statement. To implement the scheme, central government provides 100% funding. Now, with every scheme, and I kept on talking about the funding patterns with regards to various schemes through the preparation cycle. Funding is important, right? While there are 100% center sector schemes, okay, but most of the schemes are in the ratio 60-40 for majority of the states and 90-10 for hilly states and the states of the northeast region. All right, so 100% funding is very unlikely. Why? Because you see, the land record management etc. largely is a state subject. So we need to get back to the basics. So if you look at this particular scheme, yes, it can be a 100% central sector scheme, but this is something which is questionable, at least which demands a greater scrutiny. And if you look at the program itself, it is not 100% funding by the central government. It is shared with the states, right? Ministry of Rural Development, you can check the website and it will have the details. So this statement is incorrect. The moment I am able to identify that the first statement is incorrect, I can easily eliminate 3 options and get to the answer B. Okay, I can get to the answer B. But let us look at it and look at each statement that is there for us. Under the scheme, the cadastral maps are digitized. Yes, it does include the digitization of the cadastral maps. Third statement, an initiative has been undertaken to transliterate the records of rights from local language to any of the languages recognized by the Constitution of India. If you look at this particular statement is also correct. This particular statement is also correct, and hence the answer is option B. Option B. Now let us look at the statement, the question which is following this, and it is again a question which is heavy on the welfare agenda. Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. With reference to the Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, consider the following statements. This scheme guarantees a minimum package of antenatal care services to women in their second and third trimesters of pregnancy. So there is fact check 1. Okay, and 6 months post delivery healthcare service in any government health facility. Again, fact 2. So if you look at this statement, in this particular statement, this fact 2 is incorrect, whereas fact 1 is correct, and hence the statement as a whole becomes incorrect, and we need to find the correct statement. So the moment I know that the first statement is incorrect, I can rule out 2 options. Under this scheme, private sector healthcare providers of certain specialities can volunteer to provide services at nearby government health facilities. That is correct. Even if you look at the page on a website like Vikaspedia, there is a link which it specifically gives for volunteer registration, under which certain medical professionals can actually provide those sort of services. So second statement is correct. Hence the answer is option B here. Option B. Moving on to the last question from the set of governance. With reference to Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana, again, social welfare, which is coming up in the scheme, we have to consider the following statements. The entry age group for enrollment is 21 to 40 years. Now, this is a fact 1, which we need to consider. Now, please understand, this is Shram Yogi, largely for the laborers, etc. Why will they keep the age 21? I mean, generally people who are not that literate or who are not from that affluent backgrounds will engage in sort of those sort of jobs. So in this case, if you look, this statement is incorrect because the age limit is 18 to 40 years. So the options are again traditionally arranged. So first and last option, A and D, I can rule out easily. Okay. Age specific contribution shall be made by the beneficiary. That is true. Okay. According to the age, the contributions differ. Obviously, the person who is going to enroll in the scheme at a later part of their lives will have to contribute a bit more. Okay. There is an entire table given on the ministry's website regarding this, on the scheme. Okay. So this statement is correct. Each subscriber under the scheme shall receive a minimum pension of rupees 3,000 per month after attaining the age of 60 years. This is correct. This is correct. Last statement. Family pension is applicable to the spouse and unmarried daughters. This statement is incorrect. Okay. Family pension is not applicable to the spouse and unmarried daughters. In this case, it is not applicable. So this statement becomes incorrect. Any which ways, if you see the option, the moment we marked the first one wrong, the fourth became automatically incorrect. Okay. So the correct answer for this would be B. B for ball. So this ends the questions with the subject of governance. Let us move to certain miscellaneous questions. So this was an easy fact catch question. Who of the following is the author of the books The India Way and Why Bharat Matters? Well, India's present Minister for External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, is the author. And you see how UPSC actually tricks you a bit. They have given the full name, Subramaniam Jaishankar, which a lot of you might not be familiar with. The first name of the Minister for External Affairs. But this book was in news. A lot many personalities of repute actually promoted this book on their social media handles, and therefore it is easy to say. There are other people. Bhupendra Yadav is a minister. Shashi Tharoor, of course, a prolific author and minister, ex-diplomat as well, right? So therefore it is easy to confuse, but this was something which as a fact was bombarded in the news throughout the year, and it was an easy catch, so as to say. Moving on to the next question. Okay, now this is something which needs you to actually analyze stuff in the sense that why reasons were in news. So this is a different way the UPSC is asking you question. Okay. Now, Argentina, worst economic crisis. Sudan, war between the country's regular army and paramilitary forces. Turkey rescinded its membership of NATO. So the reasons, you should look at that, why these regions were in news. If you remember, there was this new election which happened in Argentina, and its president was there in the G7 extended summit, in which our prime minister also went, and he came on the plank of the poor economic condition, and this was something in news. He actually said that, okay, I do not want to be the part of BRICS and so on and so forth, because the things are not very rosy there. So this mapping or this matching is correct. Sudan, of course, we have heard a lot about it in terms of the civil war between North Sudan, South Sudan crisis, as well as the war between the countries' army and paramilitary forces. So this is again correct. Rescinded its membership of NATO, Turkey, or as it has rechristened itself as Turkey. So the point here is that no country has rescinded its membership of NATO. Yes, there is a war which is going on in Russia and Ukraine, but the point here is that all the talks are towards the addition of more members to NATO, and not the rescindment of some member. Okay, so clearly this is incorrect. So the optionals are into how many format, so you cannot really resort to elimination, you have to know this. So out of the 3, 2 are correct, 2 pairs are correct, hence the answer is option B. Option B. So that ends the portion of governance and the miscellaneous question that we had. Next up is going to be another subject for us, right, and it will be taken up by the Faculty of Geography. That's all. Thank you.
So, hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. I am Krishna Gupta, Faculty for Geography. So, here will be, first of all, congratulations to all of you for giving such a brave attempt. So, in this session, we'll be having a discussion on the prelims questions with respect to the geography subject, which is, we can see the trend here, it has been dominant this year with respect to geography. See, previously it was seen that geography has 4 questions, 5 questions, 7 questions, max to max 8 to 9 questions. But this year we have seen a very great change in trend from jumping directly to 19 questions from geography. Okay, this has been a very, we can say, a dominating thing from geography, which was quite unexpected from UPSC. But we can also cannot predict that how UPSC responds with respect to subject, how it makes an interplay between the subjects, so that there is not a kind of a repetition of something that is pattern, but yes, there is repetition of something which is concepts, analysis, and how we can comprehend it. So starting here discussion with the first question. The first question is with respect to the incoming solar radiation. So here we are basically talking about the heat budget. Okay, heat budget. Okay, we are talking about heat budget here. So first question is
the atmosphere is heated more by incoming solar radiation than by terrestrial radiation. If I look at this concepts here, so this one is the insolation and this one is outgoing terrestrial radiation. The incoming solar radiation, it naturally has a short wavelength, okay, but the outgoing terrestrial radiation, it has long wavelength of radiation. Therefore, what we see here, this statement becomes an incorrect statement. Because why? The long wavelength radiation is the radiation which is trapped by water vapors or carbon dioxide as a gas or dust particles, clouds, atmosphere as a whole. So it traps long wavelength radiation and not the short wavelength radiation, therefore making this statement as an incorrect statement. Now, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wavelength radiation that we have just discussed here. Therefore, this is a correct statement. Out of this, we see the statement 1 is incorrect. Okay, statement 1 here it is incorrect, while statement 2 is a correct statement. Therefore, the answer here it is D. Now, moving to the next question. The question here, it is regarding the thickness of troposphere. Okay, we are talking about the troposphere. So, when we are talking about the troposphere, we have 3 meridional cells. Okay, we have 3 meridional cells above which we have the presence of troposphere. Okay, now, but when I see these 3 meridional cells at equator, okay, that is 0 degrees of latitude, we have rising of air because of the thermal heating of the water or the region. So, because of the thermal heating, there is a formation of convection currents. Okay, there is formation of convection currents. Looking at these concepts, we see the thickness of the troposphere at the equator is much greater as compared to the poles. Now, this is what which is happening at the equator, but what is happening at the poles? There is subsidence of the winds are taking place. Okay, it is basically a we can say the thermal factor here, it is very cold. Okay, very cold, because of which here the rising of the current or rising of the air because of the convectional current results into the increase in the altitude or increase in we can say the region of troposphere at equator, therefore making this statement as a correct statement. Now, carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are good absorbers of long wavelength radiation. If I am look at this statement here, this statement is also a correct statement. Okay, so here we see that the correct answer for this question here is A. Actually, I think there is something wrong here. The question should be, the statement 2 should be at the equator. At the equator, heat is transported to a great heights. By convection currents. To a great height by convection currents. So, looking at this statement here, we see this statement as a correct statement here, and the statement 2 is substantiating the statement 1. Therefore, the correct answer for this question is A. Okay. Now, moving to the next question. Here we have a question with respect to volcanic eruption. Okay, volcanic eruption is an event. It is a geophysical phenomena where we see there is something with respect to the heat which is occurring in the mantle layer or the asthenospheric layer, and there is presence of volcano because of certain reasons, because of the accumulation of heat, because of radioactive activities, because of we can say the higher movement of magma, or because of accumulation of water in the groundwater region. There is the volcanoes erupts. Okay, the volcanoes erupts, here what we see that the products of the volcanic eruptions basically are the pyroclastic debris, it is quite common. Okay, recent volcanic eruptions, if we look at, it has taken place in Indonesia, near New Zealand, that is Tongo. Then in Italy we have seen there is a volcanic eruption. In Iceland there is a volcanic eruption. Therefore ash and dust, it is also one of the byproduct or the thing. Certain nitrogen compounds are also erupted out of the volcanoes. Sulfur compounds, they are quite common. Okay, SO2, SOx, they are quite common when they are erupted, when a volcanic eruption occurs. Therefore we see the correct answer for this question is D. Okay, correct answer for this question is D, that is all four. Now next question we have here, which of the following is or are correct inference or inferences from isothermal maps in the month of January? Now January for the northern hemisphere, it is basically a winter season. Okay, it is a winter season, the winds are quite cold. Okay, so looking at the statements, the isotherms deviate to the north over the ocean and to the south over the continents. Okay, this is a statement. Now when I see the region, when I see the land and the region, consider this as either North America or Asian region. So what happens here, we see that the region in the northern side of the hemisphere of the earth, the region is quite cool. Okay, here we see that there is -10 to -40 degrees Celsius of temperature occurs. But if we look at the oceans, ocean normally have 0 degrees Celsius and above it 0 degree to 1 degree to 2 degree. This is the temperature which is present in ocean. So what happens because of this part? What happens because of this? The temperature, okay, the isotherms, they deviate northernward towards the ocean parts because the temperature here it is high. But there is a sudden dip in the oceanic part, the continental part here. And the same thing it happens when there is a continent present in the southern hemisphere, that there will be a opposite phenomena will take place. An opposite phenomena will take place here, that is there will be dip over the continents. Okay, there will be rising in the part of the continent and there will be dip in the part of the oceans. Okay, so this will be the phenomena which will be taking place. Therefore we see this statement, that is the statement 1 is a correct statement here. Now looking at the statement 2, statement 2 says the presence of cold ocean currents, okay, the cold ocean currents, the Gulf Stream and North Atlantic drift makes the North Atlantic Ocean colder. Okay, we are saying that it is making colder. The question is saying it is making colder. But if we have certain basic information about the Gulf Stream, it is a warm ocean current. North Atlantic drift, it is also warm ocean current, because of which what we see that the ocean, it is basically a part of the transfer of heat from equatorial region towards the polar regions and polar regions towards the equatorial regions. So there is a warming phenomena takes place in the polar waters. The isotherms bend towards the northern part. This is true, okay, as the temperature here it is around 0 degrees Celsius, but what we see that it is not contributing for the cooling of the water. Okay, it is not contributing for the cooling of the water. Therefore this statement is an incorrect statement. So we are looking for the correct answers here. Correct answer is A1 only. A1 only is the correct answer for this question. Now moving to the next question. Now the question is regarding one of the resource of plantation crops, that is cocoa. Okay, cocoa which is abundantly being grown in the equatorial region. If you look at the equatorial region, then the region of North America, South America, equator part, Africa, then the region of Indonesia and the island nations of the Asia. These are the regions where the cocoa is grown. Now if we look at these options here, so the options with respect to Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, which is commonly called, and the Ghana region or the Ghana country. These are the regions and countries which contribute for the largest growth of the cocoa in the world. Therefore, option C is the correct answer for this question. Now, moving to the next question. A very simple map based question this is, okay, simple and map based question. So, here we are talking about the tributaries which are joining the Ganga rivers downstream of Prayagraj from west to east. Okay, when I am talking about the region, we are talking from west to east. This is the direction of the confluencing of the rivers. Which one of the sequences is correct? Okay, now we need to see here what are the sequences of the rivers. So, when I see here, we have certain options like Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak and Kosi. Now, we can look at the options and we can try to identify which can be the rivers which will be first and which will be last. Now, Kosi is one of the rivers which is also called as Sorrow of Bihar. It is directly coming from Nepal. Okay, so this is Kosi river, this is the last river. So, we have two options here which can be seen and others can be eliminated here. Now, when I see these two options, we have Gandak. After Gandak, there will be a confusion between Ghagra and Gomti. Now, if we look at the topography and we know a basic geography of the region, so we can see that Gomti is the first river which is confluencing into the region and it is confluencing into Ganga near Lucknow. So, Gomti will be the first river. After Gomti, the next river is Ghagra. Okay. So, the option B, the Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Kosi, this is the basic we can say the settling of the rivers which is present in the Ganga river region. So, we see the correct answer for this question is B. Now, moving to the next question. This is one of the basic questions with respect to the climatology part, okay, the climate part, where we are the climate, not only climate part, but we are also looking at weathering and erosion. Okay. Now, what it is saying here, rainfall is one of the reasons for weathering of rocks. If you look at the agents of erosions, we have wind, we have running water, that is river, then we have glaciers, okay, glaciers, we have gravity, okay, we have we can see there are certain part of erosions within the weathering system also. There is mechanical weathering, there is thermal weathering, there is biological weathering, there is chemical weathering. So, these are the different processes through which the weathering processes takes place. So, here rainfall is one of the reason. Yes, rainfall is one of the reason. Now, why rainfall is one of the reason? Because rainfall has the capacity when the clouds are formed. Okay, these clouds, when the water is present in those regions, they are present in small particles around the hygroscopic nuclei. These hygroscopic nuclei, they absorb certain gases, certain dust, certain we can say certain ashes and certain minerals also. So, when the carbon dioxide is also absorbed in this rainwater, it results into the kind of a weathering process which is a solution. Okay, solution. Now, solution also results in the weathering of the rocks. Now, after this, rainwater contains atmospheric oxygen also. This is also true because oxygen is also dissolved in water. If we look at the rainwater, if we look at the river waters, they have certain amount of dissolved oxygen. Therefore, we see that all the statements here are the correct options. So, we see both statement 2 and statement 3 are correct and both of them explains the statement 1. So, this is the thing which we see here, that both of the processes, they are explaining the statement 1, that yes, because of these two things, the statement 1 is able to do the process of weathering. Therefore, the correct answer for this question is A. Now, moving forward, we have a question which is map based. Okay, map based. So, here we are talking about the North Sea. Okay, we are talking about North Sea, a very important sea in the contemporary times. The North Sea, it is a part of Atlantic Ocean, but it is present between the northern European countries. In the northern European countries, it has towards its western margin United Kingdom. Towards its northeastern part, we have Norway, and in between we have certain countries with respect to Denmark, then we have Netherlands, then we have Belgium, we have France, and certain part of Germany also, which are part of this northern sea. They share their borders with the northern sea. So we here see Finland is not a part of the northern sea and Russia is not a part of the northern sea, but Germany and Norway, these two countries are the part of northern sea. Therefore we see option B as the correct answer for this question. Now moving to the next question. Consider the following statements with respect to the information. Now UPSC has changed a certain pattern here. Instead of two statements, we are able to see here three statements and match the pair kind of question. So the three options here, they have waterfall, region and river. So the question here is, we have to match it. So Dhuadhar, you might relate it with something that where it is present. It is present near Jabalpur. Okay, it is having one of the it is making very high froth. Okay, high froth. Is it present in Malwa region? Is it present in Malwa region? No, it is not present in Malwa region. Malwa region is present towards the western part of the Madhya Pradesh, and towards the eastern part we have the presence of Kaimur Plateau. We have Kaimur Plateau, and this Dhuadhar fall, it is present on river Narmada. Therefore we see this option or this pair as an incorrect pair. Now next is Hundru Falls. Hundru Falls, the people who are living in the eastern Indian region, that is Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, they might be knowing quite well this Hundru Fall. It is quite famous for its tourism. It is present in Chota Nagpur Plateau, yes, correct, and it is present in Subarnarekha river. Okay, it is quite correct. So this pair, it is a correct pair. Now next is Jarsoppa Falls. Jarsoppa Falls, it is one of the highest falls of India. It is present in Western Ghats region of India. Now looking at the river, it is not present in the Netravati river, but it is present in the Sharavati river. It is present in Sharavati river. Therefore this statement or this pair is an incorrect pair. So the correct information matching, if we look at here, it is A only one. A only one is the correct answer here. Now moving to the next question. Okay, next question is also based on the similar kind of pattern where we have three statement pairs. Now the pair is with respect to region, name of the mountain range and the type of mountain. Basically we see here there is something with respect to the geographical location and the concept. Okay, concept here is with respect to the type of mountains. When two plates or a region, they are moving in the same direction, it results into the folding of the region, which results into the development of fold mountain system. But when there is a vertical movement of the plates, okay, it results into the formation of block mountains, or it is also called as fault mountains. Block or fault mountains. Okay, there is subsidence of land has taken place here. So this is the fold mountains and this is the block or fault mountains. Now we have the first mountain system here, that is the Vosges. Vosges mountain, it is a quite famous mountain in the European region. It is not present in Central Asia, but it is present in the France region, sharing some of the boundaries with Germany also. Now, is it a fold mountain? No, it is not a fold mountain. It is a block mountain. It is a block mountain. Therefore, making the pair 1 as an incorrect pair. Now, second, Europe, Alps, one of the most famous mountain systems of the world. Okay, Switzerland is situated here in Alps. So here, is it a block mountain? No. There is an alpine orogeny concept. Okay, there was a time when Himalayas, Alps, Andes, Rockies, they have originated in a single time period. So this is also a fold mountain and not a block mountain. Therefore, this pair also we can say it is an incorrect pair. Moving next, there is North America. In North America, towards the eastern margin, we have the presence of Appalachians. Towards the western margin, we have the presence of Rockies. So here it is also one of the fold mountains. But the point is here, Appalachians are one of the oldest fold mountain systems of the world. Okay, they have been eroded to a very larger extent now, and we see that as Aravalli in India is present. Okay, it is not having an height greater than 1 kilometers or 1000 meters. So similar condition is present in Appalachian, but it is a fold mountain. So we see this pair is a correct pair. Now moving forward, next is South America. In South America, we have one of the most famous mountains, that is Andes. Okay, Andes, or we also call it as a Cordillera Mountains. Now this is also one of the fold mountain systems formed during the Alpine orogeny. So we see this pair is a correct pair. So the information which is provided in this question here, 3 and 4, only 2, that is option B is the correct answer here. Now moving to the next question, we have a greenfield project. Okay, greenfield project. What is greenfield project? It is a project which requires, which is basically being permitted to use the green system or green ecosystem. The energy which used here, it is green. The water, it is recycled in the system. Okay, and the kind of maintenance system, it is also using the greener sources. It is avoiding the use of plastics and other materials which are quite injuring, or it is degrading environment. So in India, there have been total 21 ports. There have been total 21 ports which have been completed. Some of it are already completed, and the 11 out of them are under construction. Okay, so under it we see the Donny Polo Airport. It is a correct pair. It is a correct option. The Kushinagar International Airport. It is also a correct option here. But the Vijayawada International Airport, it is not yet considered under the greenfield projects. Therefore, we see the answer for this question, it is 1 and 2 only, that is A, 1 and 2 only is the correct answer for this question. Okay, now moving to the next question. Okay, so here we see we have a question with respect to the water vapor. Water vapor is a very basic concept. It is a very basic topic from, we can see, the climatology part, from the precipitation, from the hydrological cycle as we see. Okay, water vapor becomes one of the part. Okay, here we see the evaporation of water, it results into the formation of water vapor. It is consisting of certain energy inside it, okay, which has been gained from the sun, and it is present in the form of water vapor. Now, let's look at some of the concepts with respect to water vapor. A very basic question yet conceptual question asked by UPSC here. It is a gas. Yes, it is a gas. Water vapor is a gas. It is also one of the potent greenhouse gas. Okay, the amount of which decreases with altitude. Why? Okay, why this is happening? When we see that we have the rising of air is taking place. The rising of air is taking place as the air rises because of the environmental lapse rate. Because of the environmental lapse rate, every 1000 meters, for every 1000 meters, there is decline of almost 6.5 degrees Celsius. 6.5 degrees Celsius decline in temperature occurs. This is called as the environmental lapse rate. So what we see, as the air parcel which is consisting of this water vapors, it rises. Okay, it rises here because this air parcel, now it has becoming cooler. It is now become more cool. As it becomes cooler, the tendency of this air mass to retain the moisture, okay, to retain the moisture, it declines. It declines because it has got cooled now. Okay, the air parcel has got cooled now, so its moisture retaining capacity, it declines. Therefore, with the rise in altitude, the water vapor, it starts to decline in the troposphere region. So this statement here we see, it is a correct statement. Now, its percentage is maximum at poles. Now this is a kind of a tricky question which if certain students doesn't know that what is the characteristic of air which will help in retaining moisture and which will help in we can say the drop in the moisture. We see that we have polar region and we have equatorial region. In the equatorial or the tropical region, we have high heat. The heat is here high. Because of the high heat, the water which is present in this region, it is completely filled with this, it is completely filled with the water vapor. But in the polar regions, the air it is very dry because the temperature here it is lesser than 0 degrees Celsius and here it is very cool. Because of the cooling of this region, we see that the air becomes dry. As the air becomes dry, its moisture retaining capacity it is very low. Moisture retaining capacity is low. Therefore, we see the polar regions it has minimum moisture or it has minimum presence of water vapor. It has minimum presence of water vapor. Therefore, this statement it becomes an incorrect statement and the correct answer for this question is A, 1 only. Now moving to the next question. Okay, question number 13. Here we see a kind of a climate is being seen here, a very we can say a very conceptual question being asked here, quite biome related question is being asked here with respect to a region. So what we see here that, okay, there is a region where the annual range of temperature is not very high, okay, annual range of temperature when it is around 5 degrees to 6 degrees Celsius, okay, it is not considered very larger range, okay, it is less than 10 degrees Celsius and the daily range in the temperature differences it is also low, okay, here we are seeing daily and annual and daily range of temperature it is quite seen here. So what we see here that this kind of condition it is present in equatorial type of climate, the condition is also present in marine west coast climate, okay. Now precipitation occurs throughout the year, okay, precipitation throughout the year. If I look at this statement, this condition is present in equatorial, China type, humid subtropical to a certain extent and marine west coast climate to a certain extent where we see that the rainfall occurs for more than 180 days in a year. Now the precipitation varies between 50 to 250 centimeters. This is the main deciding factor here where we can differentiate the different climates. Equatorial type of climate it has minimum rainfall of 150 centimeters but it can go up to 250 centimeters which is a general format, but to a certain regions there can be 400 centimeters of rainfall also, but we consider minimum rainfall as 150 centimeters and the average rainfall of 250 centimeters in a region. Therefore, we can directly eliminate the equatorial type of climate in this condition. The China type of climate it does not have the 250 centimeters of rainfall in a year. It has max to max 150 to 200 centimeters of rainfall in a year, because of which the 50 centimeter parts it eliminates it, okay. Also we see the precipitation it is not precipitation but the annual and daily range of temperature here it is quite contrasting, okay, it is similar to monsoon type of climate. The humid subtropical climate it consists of rainfall during the 2 seasons, okay, because we can see there is a changes in the subtropical pressure belt system which is resulting into the precipitation in this region, but the precipitation does not touches more than 100 centimeters in this region. Therefore, it can also be eliminated. Now the marine west coast climate, okay, marine west coast climate which is present around in the temperate region, okay, this is present in the temperate region. Here we see that because of the presence of the warm ocean currents, also there is presence of westerly wind. Because of the presence of westerly winds throughout the year there is precipitation is occurring. First thing, because of the presence of the ocean currents, there is specifying of the climate, there is specifying of the temperature is taking place. During the summer season, the rainfall occurs and it results into the decline in temperature by 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. During the winter season, because of the rainfall and because of the presence of the warm ocean currents, the temperature it increases by 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, because of which the annual range of temperature it is not very contrasting. Therefore, we see all these three conditions, they are satisfying the marine west coast type of climate, which is also called as the British type of climate. So, it is the correct answer for this question. Now, moving to the next question. With reference to Coriolis force, which one of the following statements are correct? Coriolis force, you might be aware of it. It is a resultant force which is which has developed because of the rotation of Earth. Because of the rotation of Earth, in the northern hemisphere, it is moving in the clockwise direction, while in the southern hemisphere, it is moving in the anti-clockwise direction. It is quite basic thing. It increases with the increase in wind velocity. Now, this statement is a correct statement. When the wind velocity is low, then the movement of the wind, it will also be less. But if the wind velocity is high, the movement, or I can say deflection of the wind, it will also be higher. It is maximum at poles and it is absent at equator. At equator, this force is almost zero, but it is maximum at poles. This is happening because of the stark gradient and the movement of wind which is taking place in this region. Therefore, we see both the statement here are the correct option. So, the correct answer for this question is C, both 1 and 2. C, both 1 and 2 is the correct answer for this question. Now, moving to the next question. Here we can see on June 21, okay, here this is one of the question, this is one of a type of a question which is repeatedly being asked, okay, after 2 to 3 years in UPSC exam, okay, with respect to the which horizon where the sunlight occurs, at which tropic of Cancer, okay, the solstices, the equinoxes. Here the questions are being asked in prelims examination and the same trend is repeated here. So, on June 21 every year, which of the following latitudes experiences a sunlight of more than 12 hours? Okay, the question here it is about the 12 hours. Now, as this is sun and this is earth, so we know that the tilting of the earth, it always occurs towards the sun. Okay, it always occurs towards the sun. Okay, here we have the polar zone, the temperate zone and the tropical zone. Okay, we have 3 zones here. Now, what we see here during the 21st June, okay, during the 21st June, we have one of the solstices. Okay, we have one of the solstices, that is summer solstice. We have summer solstice here. During the March 21, we have equinox. During the September, we have another equinox, and during December, we have winter solstice as per the northern hemisphere, okay, as the trends have been made with respect to the European conventions. So, here we see that the sun rays are able to reach directly to the Tropic of Cancer, which is present at 23.5 degrees. Okay. So, here we see below this point, the sun rays, it is decline. Okay. Here we have the annual day, the day range of temperature, it is less than 12 hours, but at the point of the Tropic of Cancer, we can see it is more than 12 hours. But at the polar regions, we see that the sunlight is present here for around 3 to 4 months. Okay, 3 to 4 months, the sun can be seen. Beyond it, we can say that the sun is not completely seen, but for 3 to 4 months in the polar regions, it is seen. Now, looking at the options, we can directly eliminate the options which are not correct here. Equator, it is less than 12 hours. Tropic of Cancer, yes, it is more than 12 hours. Tropic of Capricorn, lying in the southern hemisphere, here also it is less than 12 hours. The Arctic Circle, which is present in the northern pole, here the sunlight is present for a larger period of time. Okay, you might have heard about a concept which is called as the midnight sun. The midnight sun, why? Because during the night time at 12 p.m. also 12 a.m. there is presence of sunlight. Okay, the sun can be seen at that point. Therefore, Arctic Circle is also correct option here, which is experiencing the visibility of sun. Therefore, what we see here, the correct answer is 2 and 4, that is D option is correct here. Now moving to the next question. We have next question with respect to the lower birth rate. Okay, this is one of something which has been seen after a very long duration of time, that is from the part of the demography of the world. Okay, the demography of the world, you might have studied the part of the demographic transition, okay, where the birth rate and death rate, they are changing according to time. So here we can see that we have certain countries, and the question is asked here, which of the above countries are frequently mentioned in the media for low birth rates or aging population or declining population? We have three factors here. First is low birth rate, second is aging population, and third is declining population. In Italy, a phenomena has been seen that the population here it is declining. Okay, population is declining, along with the birth rate here it is declining. Therefore, this is a correct option. In Japan, the population has aged to a very high extent, almost around 20% of the population, they are moving towards the higher aging population bracket. Therefore, this option is also correct. Nigeria is one of the countries which is present in the African region, where we see a different phenomena, where the birth rate currently it is very high, okay, and the death rate is comparatively higher, less than the birth rate but still high. Therefore, it does not satisfy any of these three criteria. South Korea, if you look at, it is also one of the countries. The South Korea is also we can see one of the countries which is satisfying this part here, which is satisfying this part here. Which is satisfying this part here. Okay, so this is also a country where the population is declining. Now, what is happening in South Korea, in the South Korea region? Here the working age population is high, okay, and the women and men both are working, because of which they have less children. So declining in population and the low birth rate, it is being seen here. Also, certain section of population, they are moving towards the aging part. Now, South Africa, it is having a demographic condition similar to India, where the population is still increasing. Therefore, it is not a correct option. So the correct answer for this question is A, 1, 2 and 4. Now, another question here we have with respect to the longest border. Okay, the longest border between the two countries in the world is between which of the countries? Now, this is one of the very simple topics which we can see here. It is the answer for this question is Canada and USA. If we look at this condition here, they have a border which is lengthening around 8,893 kilometers on land. Okay, this is the border which is being shared by United States of America and Canada. Next to this one, it is Kazakhstan and Russian Federation, which have a border which is around 6,600 kilometers. Okay, so this is the second largest border, but the first largest border it is Canada and United States of America. So this is the answer. Now moving to the next question. Here we have a question with respect to sump pipeline. Okay, we have a sump pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. Basically, if we look at this sump pipeline, this is a pipeline which you might have heard about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines. Similar to these concepts, the sump pipelines have been constructed, and these sump pipelines, they are basically connecting the region of the Middle East to the region of Europe, where there is movement of oil, petroleum oil and natural gas is taking place. So these sump pipelines, it connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, here we can see the Middle East part, the Saudi Arabian part, it is just towards the we can say towards the eastern side of Red Sea, but The European region, it is present towards the northern side of Mediterranean Sea. Therefore, it is connecting both these two regions. So, we see here the statement 1 and statement 2 both are the correct statements, and the statement 2 is correctly explaining the statement 1 here. Now, moving to the next question. The question is about on the Red Sea region. Okay, the question is on the Red Sea region. This year the Red Sea has been quite in news. It has been quite in news because it is connected to the countries where various kind of upheavals with respect to the climatic phenomena. Like recently in Dubai there was a very super thunderstorm has taken place, which has resulted into a rainfall which used to occur basically in 2 years. That was 50 centimeters, 50 to 55 centimeters of rainfall. This is the 2-year rainfall which has occurred in a single day. Now, with respect to this, the Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form. Now, this statement is correct. Why? In a single year, Red Sea region, it receives rainfall not more than 10 centimeters in a year. Okay, in a year, it is not more than 10 centimeters. Why? Certain geographical factors, like we have the presence of the subtropical pressure, high pressure belt system in the region. Also, we see that the water which is present in this region, it is evaporated and it is moved to certain other regions, not resulting into the rainfall or precipitation in this particular regions. Therefore, this statement is correct. Now, second option here we see, no water enters the sea or Red Sea from this rivers. This statement is also correct. If you look at the map, if you look at your atlases, you will find no water being going into this region of Red Sea. If I make this Mediterranean Sea the part of Africa, this is Red Sea. Okay, so what I am saying that in the African region, the Nile River, it is flowing towards the northern part. Okay, it is just flowing towards the northern part. The rivers which are present in the European region, they are flowing towards the eastern direction. Okay, eastern direction, because they have a general elevation towards the east. The rivers which are present in the Saudi Arabian and Central Asian part of region, they are moving either in the southern direction or they are also moving towards the eastern direction into the Black Sea or Caspian Sea. But no water is being entered into this Red Sea region. Therefore, we see this option is also correct, and the correct answer for this answer is C, both 1 and 2. Okay, C, both 1 and 2 is the correct answer for this question. Okay, so guys, these were some of the questions which was been asked in UPSC examination. This was from the geographical part. We can see that geography, the number of questions, it has been jumped directly from 6 to 7 to directly 19 questions have been asked from geography this year. So guys, I'll just take the leave, and now the faculty for economy, he will take initiative from now. So guys, thank you very much and best of luck.
Hello students, just give me a minute so that we can get to the Indian economy section. Okay, so let us start the questions on the Indian economy. Question number 40 is the first question with reference to the Indian economy. Collateral borrowing and lending obligation are the instruments of. In this question, we do not actually have much of an explanation required. Okay, so answer would be the money market. See, collateral borrowing, lending obligation, when you read that, you can very easily understand we are talking about the debt instruments. Now, debt instruments are one type of instruments. Financial instrument can be divided into two categories, debt or the equity. they can either be broken down into money or capital market. You do not use the term bond, forex, stock. They are not very comprehensive term. That's why it should be money market. Next question. The total fertility rate in an economy is defined as, I think, very straightforward and one of the easiest question. The average number of live birth a woman would have by the end of her childbearing age, or basically total number of children a couple is likely to have. So for example, 2.1 is considered as replacement rate. Indian number has now come between 2.2 and 2.3. So answer was D there. Okay. Question number 42. In India, NBFC can access the liquidity adjustment facility window of the Reserve Bank of India. This is wrong. NBFC cannot do so. It is only for the scheduled commercial banks. So first option is wrong. The second option is correct. Foreign institutional investors can hold the government securities. And third is also correct. The stock exchanges can have different trading platform. So the first option here was wrong. Answer should be 2 and 3 only, D. Next question, 43. Sorry, something is wrong here. It is becoming too sensitive. I'm taking once, it is taking 2 clicks. Anyways, let's continue. So in India, which of the following can trade in the corporate bonds and government securities? So insurance companies can always buy all the financial instruments. Pension funds can also buy, and retail investors can also buy. Some students might have a doubt regarding government securities for retail investor. Okay, retail investor means common people, you and me, etc. That we can buy through our Demat account or not. So the point is, earlier we were not allowed to, but now with the eCubear platform we can. So answer should be all, D. 44. In this case, we have to identify which are financial instruments. So it should be 1 and the 3. 2 is not a financial instrument. Motor vehicle is not. So 1 and 3 only. D is the answer. 45. With reference to the sector of Indian economy, consider the following. Okay, we have to identify which activity is in which sector. The storage of agriculture produce. So storage of agriculture produce comes in warehousing, which should be tertiary. So here, this should be tertiary sector. Dairy farm is primary, that is correct. Mineral exploration should be a primary sector. Although it is up to interpretation. Generally, mining is part of the primary sector, but unless UPSC key comes, we are never absolutely sure what is the answer, because a lot is dependent on the interpretation. There is no concrete, I would say, written evidence that exploration can be services here. Okay, as a different places give you different information. That's what I'm trying to say. So according to our perspective, it should be primary. And weaving cloth anyways is secondary, so it should be only 2. Okay, it is 2 and 4 which are correct. Question number 46. Consider the following material: agriculture residues, corn grain, wastewater treatment sludge, and wood meal waste. Which of the following can be used as a feedstock for producing sustainable aviation fuel? So actually it was in news regarding the context of the wastewater treatment sludge. So it should be all. Okay, this was in news. Question number 47. With reference to the physical capital in the Indian economy, consider the following pairs. So basically, how do you identify which capital is what? Raw material is always working capital, machinery and tool is always the fixed capital. Farmer plow basically is a tool. So it is a tool. Computer is a machine. Yarn is a raw material. Petrol is a raw material. So this is correct, it is working capital, but this is wrong. Similarly, this is wrong and this is correct. So 2 only is, B is the answer, only 2 are correct. Okay, tool is wrongly matched as working capital, it should be fixed capital. Next, 48, the rule regarding the Reserve Bank of India regarding the foreign banks. So there is no minimum capital requirement for wholly owned banking subsidiary. Actually हम फॉरेन बैंक्स की बात करें तो उनके लिए और ज़्यादा रिस्ट्रिक्शन होता है. उनके लिए अगर रूल होगा अलग तो हमेशा हायर कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट का होगा. नो कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट कैन नॉट बी ए रूल. Be very clear on that. So first is obviously going to be wrong. Second, for wholly owned banking subsidiaries in India, at least 50% of the board members should be Indian national. That is correct. So it should be 2 only. Okay, B is the answer for 49. 50. CSR. So I think very easy, straightforward. Second is wrong because there is 2% minimum spending rule. Everybody should be aware. It is easy. And first is also quite clear. If you are spending CSR money on yourself and your employees, it will not be considered eligible for CSR. मतलब हम एजुकेशन पे खर्च करें और ये सोचे CSR के लिए काउंट होगा, तो वो तभी होगा जब उसका बेनिफिट डायरेक्टली या तो कंपनी को या उसके एम्प्लॉइज को ना मिल रहा हो. Then only. So this is quite logically you could deduce that. Okay, and 2 is very well known. So I think this was also very easy question. It should be 1 only. A. 51. So it is a tricky question. It is actually a tough question here. The first part statement is wrong because अगर अमेरिका डिफॉल्ट करेगा, if USA were to default, then those who have bond, then they may not get the payment, but at least they can go to court. उनको अमेरिकन गवर्नमेंट ने गारंटी दिया है पैसा देने का. They are guaranteed to get money. So they can always go to court. They may not get the payment. That is a different thing. We are not talking about getting payment, but exercise their claim to receive payment. Can they exercise their claim? Can they go to court? Can they claim against US government? Of course they can. So will not be able to claim is wrong. It should be wrong. First statement is wrong. Second, American debt is not backed by hard asset but only by faith of government. That is correct. Okay. So it should be D. Statement 1 is incorrect. 2 is correct. 52. Syndicated lending. Syndicated lending means several lenders come together, several bank NBFC come together and give a loan. एक कंपनी को 400 करोड़ चाहिए तो एक बैंक से ना लिया जाए, मल्टीपल बैंक उस लोन को दे. सो दैट इज सिंडिकेटेड लेंडिंग. नाउ दैट स्प्रेड द रिस्क ऑफ बोरोवर अक्रॉस मल्टीपल लेंडर. दैट इज करेक्ट. अगर कई लोग मिलकर लोन देंगे तो ऑब्वियसली रिस्क भी डिवाइड हो जाएगा. दैट इज आई थिंक वेरी वेरी लॉजिकल. रिस्क इज गोइंग टू गेट डिवाइडेड. सेकंड, द सिंडिकेटेड लोन कैन बी फिक्स अमाउंट बट नॉट ए क्रेडिट लाइन. दिस इज रॉन्ग. क्रेडिट लाइन मीन्स क्रेडिट कार्ड, सीसी लिमिट, सो वो भी ज्वाइंट हो सकता है. सो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग. 53, it is about digital rupee. So digital rupee is absolutely like your physical rupee in every sense, just that it does not exist. You do not have a coin or a currency. आप उसको हाथ में लेकर नहीं देख सकते. Otherwise it has the same value, everything same. So it is as per, it is issued by RBI. It is a sovereign currency as per monetary policy, of course. So it will have the same counting in the money supply as regular money. So first is correct. It appears as liability. So as regular money appears on liability, this is also liability. It is insured against inflation. Wrong. अगर आप ये वाला पैसा भी अपने अकाउंट में रखेंगे और इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से वैल्यू कम होता है, इसका भी होगा. Absolutely everything is same as physical money. Okay, only that it does not exist physically. It only exists in accounting record. Only that difference is there. So third is wrong. It cannot be insured against inflation, and it is freely convertible. Yes, it is 1-to-1 convertibility. Okay, 1-to-1 convertibility मतलब जितना वैल्यू हमेशा कभी भी फिजिकल करेंसी होगा उतना ही इसका होगा. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि एक डिजिटल रुपया फिजिकल रुपया का 90 पैसा होगा या 1 रुपया 10 पैसा होगा. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. दे विल ऑलवेज हैव सेम वैल्यू. सो दे आर 1-to-1 कन्वर्टेबल. सो फोर्थ इज करेक्ट. सो 1, 2 and 4 इज आंसर. Question number 59. Absolutely straightforward question. If you know and if you do not know, then of course it's a different thing. So India is a member, correct? India is member of most of such institutions. And second, anybody could identify. ऐसा कोई organization नहीं है, even including WTO, जिसको ना ज्वाइन करने से आपके एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट पर रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगता है. एब्सोल्युटली इलॉजिकल. सो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग. इट शुड बी 1 ओनली. 92. India does not import apple from USA. This is wrong because we do import apple from several East Coast states. Okay. So whether it's Philadelphia, whether it is New Jersey, whether mostly it is from Washington, etc. So northeast coast of US. Second, in India, the law prohibits the import of genetically modified food without the approval of competent authority. That is correct. We do have restrictions like that. Okay. So first statement is wrong. Second statement is correct. D is the answer. recently Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery. This is already wrong. Venezuela has not achieved any rapid recovery. So first statement is already wrong. And by the way, it goes a step ahead. ये कहता है कि इतनी रिकवरी हो गई है कि माइग्रेशन रुक जाए. We are not even close to that. अगर हम ये मान भी ले कि थोड़ा बहुत रिकवरी हुआ है तो इतना रिकवरी के माइग्रेशन रुक जाए, वेनेजुएला से एब्सोल्युटली नोवेयर क्लोज टू. वेनेजुएला इज स्टिल इन मॉडरेट क्राइसिस. Not in extreme crisis, but still in moderate crisis. Second statement is correct. It has the world's largest proven oil reserves. So only 2 is correct here and 1 is incorrect. So D is the answer for 97 as well. So I hope the answers were straightforward and mostly clear. I think पूरे सेक्शन में से 2-3 क्वेश्चन ही ट्रिकी थे, बाकी सब क्वेश्चन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड थे. और जैसा मैंने आप सब लोगों को पढ़ाया है पूरे साल, all that I have taught you throughout the year, they should have been very easy because we have spent a lot of time on understanding what is financial instrument. We have spent a lot of time on understanding these concepts. So आपके नोट्स में से ही एटलीस्ट 12-13 क्वेश्चन है. So best of luck students for the result. Thank you.